Hi, it's Valeska. I work at Arlington's Cooper Street Y teaching yoga. I'm delighted to join you for 30 minutes of a yoga practice. We're calling it practice because that's what it is. We're working toward a goal of better balance, of strength, of peace of mind and agility or flexibility. Body, mind, and breath are really linked in yoga, so the more that you can focus on your practice, your place in the room, and let the rest of your day go, the more you'll get out of your yoga practice. I want you to be careful that you don't go into anything that hurts or feels wrong. If it feels wrong, it's probably not right for you. Everybody's body is different, so please pull out if something feels off to you, or try one of the alternatives that I will show along the way. We start with a little bit of time for quiet. If you like to be seated with your legs crossed, feel free. You can have your legs long in front of you. Sometimes helpful to sit up on something. You want a position that you can sit in for just a couple of minutes without discomfort. Let the tailbone root down. Think about the crown of the head rooting up so that you've got this long, tall spine. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, relax the shoulders away from the ears, let the belly relax, the hips settle to the floor, let the legs sink down toward the floor or the carpet. If you're comfortable closing the eyes, you can do so, or just let the gaze go soft. Take a moment to simply observe your body and the way you're breathing. If anything feels painful today, please be gentle with yourself. If you can breathe in through the nose, do so. Let that breath go deeply into the lungs like you're trying to fully inflate your lungs. And when you exhale, try to fully breathe out. Get rid of all the stale air that might be staying at the base of your lungs. As you breathe in, you might feel the heart lift, the ribs expand, the belly open. And as you exhale, the belly might come back in, the ribs compress, and relax across the heart. Let yourself breathe in maybe to a certain count, like maybe to the count of 4. And then let your exhale be of equal length, so maybe to the count of 4 again. Each time you breathe in, think about lengthening the spine and opening up the body. And as you exhale, relax certain parts of the body. Maybe feel the face soften, the shoulders relax, the arms go a little heavy. Feel the hips and the legs soften on the exhale. And let's take one more full round of breath. And then let that breathing pattern go. Let's start with just a little bit of stretch for the neck. So bring the chin toward the chest. Exhale, maybe draw the chin back slightly so that you feel some stretch to the back of the neck. Nothing to hurt. And then let's try rolling the left ear toward the left shoulder. And then drop the shoulders away from the ears so that you get this lovely opening on the right side of the neck. Take a round of breath here. And on the next exhale, just roll chin to center. And inhale, right ear toward right shoulder. Again, exhale, shoulders away. Round of breath, feel that opening on the left side of the neck. And breathe out, roll back to center and inhale. Let's start with some circles for the shoulders. Bring them up and back, down and forward. So we're trying not really to get into the arms, just let the shoulders do some work. If this needs to be slower or a smaller circle, listen to your body. And if it cricks and cracks, that's okay. Then pause and go the other direction. So forward, down, back, and up. And release. Let's take an inhale, reach tall. Feel that long stretch, reach up on one side and then the other. And then take your left hand to the floor, bring your right arm over the head. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, you don't like to have the arm in this position, you can always drop a hand to the shoulder or rest it on your hip. See if you can roll your upper shoulder back so the shoulders are stacked. On a breath in, let your arm pull you up and exhale off to the other side. Long stretch here. Again, try to roll the upper shoulder so that your shoulders are one on top of the other. Let the upper hand pull you up. Let's take the hands to the knees. We'll do a few stretches for the spine. So as we exhale, we're going to bring the belly button toward the back, and we're going to spread between the shoulder blades, breathing out. Inhale, pull the sternum forward, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, round. And inhale, draw forward. 2 more times. Exhale, round. Nice spread between the shoulders. Feel that body warming up. Inhale and exhale and inhale. A little bit of twisting, breathing tall. As we exhale on a tall spine, we're going to turn and look toward the left. Let one hand come down in front and one behind. Inhale back up. And if your arms don't like to go over your head, you can certainly keep them lower. Exhaling to the side, inhale to the front. Let's do a couple more times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Nice. We're going to come toward hands and knees. If you have a hard surface and you don't have a yoga mat, you might like to have something like a blanket. We're going to have knees on the floor and hands on the floor. So this practice is really not an up and down practice very much. We're going to pretty much stay on hands and knees and not really get up and down onto the feet, back to the floor. One of the things to keep in mind when you're in a table, you might feel some pressure in the wrists, so think about lifting out of the wrists, bringing your energy into the shoulders, activating your core. Knees are going to be under your hips. If you've got more wrist trouble, try coming to fists, or if you have a block, anytime you can come into some variation that lets you stay in table, that takes pressure off those wrists. So from here, think about lifting out of those hands, engaging the core. Take your left leg back, toe to the floor, and press that heel away. Bit of a stretch for the back of the leg. And then coming back, you can keep the toe on the floor or lift the heel to hip height. So here, toe is down, heel is up, hips are level to the floor. Keep your belly engaged. Try not to sink into the hands. If you're up to it, take the opposite hand forward. So if your left foot is back, right hand is forward. Long stretch. Keep lifting out of that hand on the floor. Doesn't look like it's a lot of work, but it is building some core work and also strengthening those arms. Also working on your balance, reaching and extending at the same time. Take another round of breath, never holding our breath. And exhale, hand to floor, knee to floor. Let's take the other foot back. Press the heel away. So remember, you could keep that foot on the floor. Here would be one option. Or next step, bringing our heel up, reaching away, trying to lift out of the hand on the floor. Keep breathing, long breath in, full exhale, hand to floor, knee to floor. If you need to release the wrist, just take a moment, circle. Then coming back into table. We're going to come into hydrant. This means we're going to take the knee up toward the side. So hands are steady here. We're going to lift maybe your right knee, bring it up, and then just bring it down. We'll just do this a few times, giving the hip a little bit of motion. And then next, we're going to bring that knee up. An option, extend the leg out. So the heel is reaching out as much as we can. Now try turning the toe to the floor. It will help you rotate your hips so that when you take your leg behind, toe is down, heel is up. Next option, to bring it over behind you, getting a bit of a twist. And if you like, try to look over your shoulder and see if the foot is there. Release the center, take the knee down. Other side. So, might be your left knee, bring it up. If things kind of pop. And move. It's good for those joints to get the motion. And on this last one, we're going to bring the knee up. Again, stretch that foot out. Press the heel away. Turn that toe down. Slide your foot behind you. You might stay right here. Or take it further behind you. And then look over that back shoulder and see if you see your heel. If you don't see it, know it's still back there somewhere. Bring the heel behind you. Knee down. Lift up. Release your wrists. So you can even press the backs of the hands together if you like a little bit. Drop the elbows. Or take the fingers together if that feels better. And shake it out. We're going to come into a little bit of a side thing here. Coming into gate and beam. So I'm going to take my left leg out to the side about level with the knee. Okay. See if you can take hands to hips. I'm going to take my left hand to the top part of my left leg and inhale my right arm up. Again, if you don't like coming this high, you can take your hand to your shoulder. Option is to slide your hand down your leg a bit and reach toward the side. So you might be feeling a nice stretch maybe into that right side or maybe into your left leg. Keep rolling that shoulder back. Inhale, let this hand come up. And exhale. Hand to the floor. Now, if this feels like it's way too far down to the floor, if you've got that block, you can place it under your shoulder and come into a nice T pose, or again, over the ear. Take a round of breath. Inhale that arm up, let it lift you tall. You're gonna take hands to the floor, bring that knee in. We're gonna extend the other leg. So, right foot comes out, about level with the knee. See if you can have hands to hip. Right hand to right leg. Inhale. Left arm up. Maybe reach toward that right foot. Roll the shoulder back. Long stretch into the ribs and the side. Inhale up. Coming to the other side. Again on the block or hands to the floor. Maybe bring the right arm up or over the ear. Reach and stretch. And then let this hand help you up. Uses your core muscles here. Hands to floor, knee to floor. Turning toward the front of your mat. We'll try a version of, some people call this puppy pose. It's a heart-melting pose. You can keep the knees under the hips, reach the hands forward, and try dropping the chest toward the floor. Okay, it can be a nice stretch. If you like to try the down dog, come back into table. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees. Okay, this is already a little bit of core work. Now press your hips way back so that you've lengthened your arms. Now you can keep your knees bent as much as you need or start to lengthen one heel down at a time. If you are over your hands and say, wow, this is a lot of work, I'm doing a push-up. We don't want to push up. Push back. Think about the dogs and cats you've seen. They're never doing push-ups. They're doing wonderful down dogs. Hips are back, tail is lifted, getting a nice long stretch to the backs of the legs. You can bend one knee at a time, or if you like, reach back with the heels, keep the knees soft, relax the head between the shoulders. Take a round of breath, exhale, knees to floor. We're going to come into a low lunge. Now there are a couple ways of doing this. Take your left foot forward, so that the knee is over the ankle, pointing out to the middle of the foot, and then you can slide as far back with the other leg as you like. If this is not for you on your hips or knees or back, you can essentially do this on the ceiling. And I'm not suggesting you become a spider, but rather come here, bring one knee to the chest, hold on like you've got a foot on the floor, and then you can choose to extend the leg here. Makes another option to something, make it a little bit more approachable if you've got anything going on in the joints. So if you don't need the spider version, bring your left foot forward and then choose how far back you want to take your right leg. You can also come up higher here if this is too low. Block is nice. Take it under your shoulder. and bring it a little bit up. If you are comfortable with hands on the floor, you're going to try to pull your pelvis forward, roll your shoulders back, draw your sternum toward the front of your mat, the side of your mat. If you feel like you can go deeper, take both hands to the inside of your left foot. If you want to play around with it a little bit, because you can always play yoga poses, you might try what we call wandering dragon. It's wandering off to the side, getting a bit of stretch. You might feel it in your hip, or your side, or your back. You might extend a bit with that left hand. Keep breathing. And then we're going to walk the hands back. One on either side of the foot. Push the hips way back. Dig your heel in, lift the toes. And then try to keep that long spine and reach it straight across from you. Or try to take your chest toward your foot. So we want to avoid rounding the back. Keep the chest pulling forward to help the spine stay long and extended. So target here, feeling the back of the leg. And then we're going to shift back forward. Hands to floor, bring the other knee back. Again, option on your back for the other side, or you might find that your sides are different and one side is tighter than the other, and that is perfectly normal. Take your right foot forward and extend your left leg as far back as you're comfortable going. Again, you can be higher up or with hands on the floor. You're thinking about pulling your pelvis forward. These little differences can make a big change in how you perceive stretch. You're going to try to keep that knee pointing over the foot, just to avoid torquing the knee. Option here is to go wandering, maybe hands on the inside of that foot, maybe walking off toward your left, maybe reaching a bit further. So if you're wandering, keep that knee pointing straight over the foot. Walk the hands back. Hands to either side of the foot. Now push your hips straight back. Dig your heel in, lift your toe, roll your shoulders back. Long stretch for the back of the leg. Take a few breaths. And then walk it forward. And slide your foot back. Come into table. Sometimes a little bit of hip rotation is nice here, so make some circles. Pushing around, kind of stretching as far as you like until you get that nice feel of release into the hips. And make sure you go the other direction. So we'll work into another pose. I'm going to show you from behind here first. We're going to work into something called temple, or it could be wide child. So what you're going to want is the toes come together, the heels apart, and see if you can get the knees as wide as you can. Okay? And then there's this shifting back of the hips and taking your torso down. This is, for some people, really difficult on the knees. So if you like another option, come onto your back. Let the knees come to the side and hold onto your ankles and just let the knees open. And that will take pressure off of those joints. If you prefer to be upright, take the knees wide again, toes together, press the hips back. So you might come with chest to floor and take a few breaths. So we're really working on opening in the interior of the hips. You might feel some compression on the hip flexors. Try to relax the back, take a few breaths. And if you'd like to add a little something, we can do that wandering aspect. So coming up a bit, have the hands in front of you, and then just walk them to the right. Find yourself a nice long stretch. You could even reach a bit further with the left hand. Again, sink down. This is going to get more into those outer hips and in your back. Deep breath. And then lift up, return slowly to center, and then it's off to the other side. and come back to center. You can stay in tadpole here, or if you'd like to add another level of this, you can keep the knees where they are, but then open up the feet so that they come underneath the knees. Now this is a bit of pressure onto the knees, so be careful. You can have a block here if that helps you. Try inching yourself back a bit. Push the hips back. I feel that. Bit of pressure into the hips. Option is to come a little bit lower. Take a few breaths. So if you get into an uncomfortable pose and your inclination is to tighten up and say, oh my goodness, try to avoid that response and see if every time you can breathe out, soften into the areas that are tight. Convince your body it's okay, you're not going anywhere, and we'll go easy into this. A few more breaths. And if you like, just bring yourself forward. That might feel good. Let it relax. And extend the legs. Maybe bend the knees, just drop the feet side to side. And then from being on your belly, slide your hands closer towards under your elbows. Tuck the elbows in, press into the hands, and bring yourself up toward the table. We're going to bring the legs around and in front. So from here, or if you're facing the edge of your mat, have the toes up. This is staff pose. Roll your shoulders back. It's this nice series of right angles. Option here, maybe reach a bit forward. If you can reach a bit further forward. So we're trying to avoid that rounding of the spine. Pull your sternum back, draw your chest forward. Take a few breaths. Inhale, work your way up. Let's bend the left knee. And you can keep that foot on the inside of your extended leg or take it to the other side. Same thing with this long leg, either keep it long or bend it and take it to the outside of your hip. If your left knee is up, wrap your right arm around it and draw chest toward knee. You can keep looking forward or you can start to look to the side. See if you can keep that spine nice and tall. And then return to center. Option. See if my own joints just cracked. See if you can have the knees stacked. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe slide your chest a bit further forward. You might feel that in your hip again. A little bit further forward. Maybe you can even lie on top of your knees. This could be done on your back as well, right? So if you were lying on your back, have one knee on top of the other and then just draw them in so you don't have gravity weighing on your joints. Inhale, lift, unwind. So we're going to extend the other leg. Bring the right knee in. See if you can draw your chest closer up. You could go into your twist right from here, or take the foot to the outside of the leg, again wrap, or take your extended leg to the outside of your hip. Try not to have it underneath. Wrap, maybe just a nice tall spine here, or take yourself to the side, or perhaps look behind. Unwind forward, take a breath. See if you can have the knees stacked one on top of each other. Tall spine, or lie on your back, bring the knees toward the chest. Maybe reach the chest forward. Maybe rest yourself on top of the knees. All depends on what your body's giving you today. Gaze lifts, heart rises, bring yourself back up. Take your hands behind you, extend the legs, just drop them side to side, windshield wiper style. And then we're going to come into a little bit of Savasana. So this is called your little closing meditation kind of gives you the benefit of your practice. As you relax, you can lie down, or you can stay seated. You can also lie on your side. Let the shoulders relax, the hands roll face up, feet a bit separated. Let the head be supported. Take a long breath in, like you're reaching all the way down to the toes with your breath. And as you exhale, relax the muscles of the face and the neck. As you breathe in, again, focus maybe on the heart. As you exhale, feel the shoulders relax toward the floor, the hands and arms grow a little heavy. Take a deep breath, feel that lift of the belly. And as you breathe out, envision any tightness, any muscle work from the abdomen, relaxing. Take your breath down toward the hips. And as you breathe out, envision letting go of any tightness in the low back, in the glutes, or in the front of the hip flexors there. Take your breath down into the legs. Let the large muscles, the quadriceps and hamstrings, feel like they're either sinking toward the bone or toward the floor. And then envision that breath as if it could travel into the soles of your feet. And as you breathe out, let the toes, the arches relax. Take a couple more breaths as if your whole body could breathe all the way to the soles of the feet and back out through the top of the head. And then take a deep inhale like you were just waking up. If you like, you can even stretch the arms overhead, flex the feet. Long stretch, and then bring one knee in on the exhale and then the other. Maybe it feels good to make a few circles. And rotate the other way. If you're energetic, you can take your hands underneath your knees and roll up, or come to your side. Use your hands to press into the floor. Bring yourself back up towards seated. From here, let's take one long rising breath, reach tall, and envision taking some grace, bringing it to mind, heart, and body. We close a yoga practice with a phrase that means, the light in me honors that light in each of you, which unites us all. The word we say is namaste. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. Hope you stay well.